So, in case you didn't know, feminism causes divorce. The more you know, folks, the more you know. So, like most topics on podcasts these days, this topic was inspired by a post that I saw on Instagram. A woman mentioned that she was no longer performing wifely duties until she got a ring. And it really got me to thinking, what exactly are wifely duties? Because I used to say the same thing prior to me getting married. And for a little context, I've always desired to be married. I met my now husband in college. I got engaged super young, got married super young, and we didn't live together for like 97% of our engagement, right? So it was perhaps easier for me to avoid quote unquote wifely duties. We met in a season when we were we were supporting each other. We were both in college, and then we were both very early on in our careers when we did get married. So it to me it didn't seem like wifely duties. It just seemed like survival duties and helping each other out. What are wifely duties? And I do want to put a poll on Instagram to figure out, what wifely duties are. But because I did not do that prior to the recording, I hopped on Google's, you know what I'm saying? I typed in wifely duties, and just again, a disclaimer, these articles or my sources are the first three links that popped up when I typed in wifely duties. Okay, so this is completely my opinion. Well, not completely my opinion. This is a mixture of my opinion, the opinion of whoever has a keyboard and the internet and a blog. So these are not scholarly reviewed articles. These are columns and editorials and blog posts. And I'm using those as my reference because this is my podcast and I can do that. What I did find is that a lot of the blog posts that I found were heavily religious and very Christian specifically, and incredibly heteronormative. I did not find, again, in my three Google searches in the top three links, I did not find anything that had to do with or that spoke on couples that are beyond the quote unquote traditional or norm. So I found this quote and it really resonated with me. And it said, marriage transforms the life of a woman from a pampered, carefree girl. She evolves into a responsible wife, ready to take on the duties of a wife. And I was reading this list and it was just getting more and more crazy with each bullet point. So the first one said, love him unconditionally. And on the surface, that's real cute, right? So wifely duty number one, love him unconditionally. No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. My love has conditions like respect and honesty and whatever other boundaries we have agreed upon, and whatever other terms and conditions, so to speak, we have agreed on. You do not get unconditional love just because we signed our names on the dotted line and exchanged some fancy, shiny jewelry. No, no, sir. The number one reason that we wrote our vows is because I knew that some of the stuff that our traditional Baptist Christian male married for 40-year-old preacher might have had to say and wanted to include, I didn't necessarily agree with. So I wanted to state and communicate to my husband and share with my husband what I was going to do and what I wasn't going to do. And now, of course, when you are married, your wifely duties change. And maybe what you said you weren't going to do, you are going to do, and vice versa. But prior to going into a marriage, I would not encourage women to love unconditionally. And I wouldn't necessarily say go in with it like, you'll love me to have conditions, sis. No, I'm not saying that either. But anything doesn't go. And respect should, be the minimum. Lauryn Hill said it best. Whoo, child. So the next thing on this list said, and lastly, it said that you should love your husband as your child. No, just no. And I don't think they meant that in a creepy way. But I love my husband as my husband, and I love my child as my child. Moving on. This funky list had the audacity to say, cook for him. And that was twice on the list. That was reiterated. Cook for him. It said fulfill his needs. And under that said cook. Now again, If that's what y'all have worked out in y'all relationship, that's what y'all have agreed upon, then please, by all means, do that. But a wifely duty blanket statement, cook for him? No. No. You know, y'all know what Cardi B said. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Okay? Because I'm trying to hire a personal chef. That is in my 5-year plan. And then lastly on this list said that a wifely duty is to take care of yourself. And then it said, that's not to say that this is the least important thing, but I thought it spoke volumes that taking care of yourself as a wife was last on the list, regardless of what the follow-up sentence was. That's number one. Take care of yourself. And it's easy for someone who maybe isn't a mother and who isn't a wife to say, no, I put my family and my husband first. But I'm telling you, you are very likely going to be fighting and clawing your way back to yourself, at least some version of yourself, some familiar version of yourself, if you continuously put others before you. And you may even experience that now prior to being a wife. So I would not say that self-care is last on those wifely duties. If anything, it's number one. We didn't live together for 97% of our engagement, and that really just had to do with circumstances in our lives at the time. It's not really a choice we made. It was kind of something that was made for us. Had we actually been together, because we were long distance, had we physically been together, we probably would have lived together. And to me, that is not a wifely duty, living together. That whole wifely duty, traditional wifely duties, in my opinion, has to go back to like, you know, the dawn of time, the 40s, the 50s, whatever, when it was like, don't buy the cow now if you're giving the milk. Why would the man buy the cow if you are giving away the milk for free? That is such an antiquated, outdated way of thinking, honey. If you want to share that milk, and you're not a cow, unless you're Doja Cat. But oh, she ain't even a cow either. I messed up that line. Wait, I'm not a bitch. I'm a cow. I'm not a cat. Anyway, I might cut this part out. But if you want to share that milk, share that milk. That has nothing to do with wifely duties, because I think it would be beneficial to know what you're getting into before you become that wife, if you do share that milk. But don't listen to me. Don't let me get you sent to hell if that's what you believe in. That went back to the 40s and the 50s, talking about a respectable woman doesn't perform wifely duties before she's married. Because here's the kicker. Again, in my humble opinion, a man knows if he wants to marry you, I don't know, 6 months in. So let's say you are cooking, cleaning, handing out the milk, woo woo waddy wah, and it's 10 years later. I mean, I just don't think that he values marriage. Not to say he doesn't value you. He doesn't value marriage, and he doesn't see you as a wife. Or you could be cooking and cleaning and sexing for 3 months, and he proposes after a year and a half. Like, I don't really think that this whole wifely duties thing. What is a wifely duty, child? A wifely duty is whatever it is that you want to do and whatever y'all agree on together. That's really what a wifely duty is sharing the responsibility, taking care of the house together, and maintaining balance and harmony in the house. That's a wifely duty. But in summation, feminism is what causes divorce. Women wanting help around the house is what causes divorce, according to this website. It's boo-boo. What causes divorce is two people that no longer work well together. That's what causes divorce. And sure, it's a little bit more nuanced than that. But a woman speaking up for herself, a man speaking up for himself, someone who wants better for themselves is not what causes divorce. So tell me, let me know, what is a wifely duty? I can do a part 2 or just a completely new episode. I can bring somebody on. What is a wifely duty to you? Do you subscribe to wifely duties? Let me know. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see y'all next time.